Previously on Marshall Peak, Yang Kai encounters the 11th elder on the mountain and questions what he is doing here. Yang Kai answers that he is training to get stronger, and the 11th elder agrees. Here, Yang Kai questions that he has something that he is confused about. Yang Kai asks Ling why there is an overwhelming amount of qi coming from this ravine. In reply, Ling explains that there is a treasure down in the ravine with the Yang attribute. Apparently, this ravine was cleaved by a single strike of a sword. To explain why someone is unstruck here, we need to go back a few hundred years when the High Heaven Pavilion didn't even exist. Back then, the people encountered a mysterious demon, and a great martial artist stepped up to defeat the demon. When their fight was almost over, the demon realized he couldn't defeat the human, so he slashed on the ground, and that slash created this ravine. After that, the demon fled to the very depths of the ravine. But the martial artist still caught up to him and defeated him. Although the demon's body and soul perished, the great martial artist was unsure if the demon truly died. So he created the High Heaven Pavilion sect and guarded this place for several decades. Ling tells Yang Kai that there is only darkness in this ravine, and that darkness has formed a treasure like Yang Qi. Ling ends the conversation then and there and leaves, claiming that he needs to meet with someone. So Yang Kai continues training his Kai, and after a few days, he forms his first drop of Yang essence. Now that he has successfully learned the technique, Yang Kai heads back to his house to find Ning Chang sleeping on his bed. He unintentionally wakes Ning Chang up, and that gets her flustered. They both awkwardly introduce each other, and Ning Chang explains that she only came here to deliver a bag that Zhang gave him as a thank you for saving his son's life. After giving him the bag, Ning Chang quickly leaves, showing how shy she is. However, our hero isn't interested in girls and only has one goal, which is to become the strongest. So he opens the bag to see that Zhang has gifted him new clothes. But he doesn't wear it and instead goes to sleep. The next morning, Yang Kai finds a letter outside of his door left by Yun Tian. And in that letter, Yun Tian tells Yang Kai to come to the woods for another rematch. Knowing that Sumu's group is most likely going to ambush him, Yang Kai decides to go there to test out his secret Yang technique. On the other hand, Yun Tian returns to the woods where Sumu is and sees that a group of disciples from a sect called Storm Manor are approaching them. Sumu reveals having bad relations with the group leader Xiao Feng, so Yun Tian advises him to step away to make their path. But instead, Sumu blocks the way to try and pick up a fight with Shang Feng. Before they clash, a girl named Hume, who is from another sect named the Sanguine Society, intervenes, and at first glance, Sumu falls in love with her. However, Sumu quickly realizes that Hume intends to only insinuate their fight as she tries to provoke Xiao Feng to beat him up. Hume succeeds in doing so. As both men engage in a duel and trade blows using their fists, Yang Kai runs into them and sees that Xiao Feng has already beaten Sumu. Even though the battle is over, Hume isn't happy with that, so she manipulates Xiao Feng into using a brick to ruin Sumui's proud and beautiful face. Yang Kai stops him from doing something so horrid, so everyone from Xiao Feng's gang comes to attack him. Thinking he is one of Sumu's friends, Yang Kai defeats everyone with ease and uses his inner chief to fight them. With only Xiao Feng and Hume left standing, Xiao Feng brings out a sword, acknowledging Yang Kai as a person with great skill, and comes to attack him. Yang Kai blocks the attack with his hand and easily knocks him out as well. Then Yang Kai decides to take out Hume, disregarding that he shouldn't fight a girl, and begins to choke her neck. Instead of using strength, Hume tries seducing Yang Kai to get out of his hold. Yang Kai realizes what she is trying to do, so in order to teach her a lesson, he grabs her like and subscribe buttons, her chest, and makes her feel more embarrassed than ever, right after he lets Yume go. And that makes her wonder how someone so wicked could exist in her life. She has met countless men who desired her body, and yet Yang Kai isn't even interested in her. That's why she finds him quite appealing and wishes to meet him again before leaving the woods. Once Hume is gone, Yang Kai treats his own wounds and then turns to Sumu to help him out. As he is also badly injured, Yang Kai and Sumu's disciples carry him back to the High Heaven Skyward Pavilion to get help, but no one offers to help or even asks what happened to them. Yang Kai explains that since fights between disciples from different factions are quite normal, the officials don't get involved unless someone dies, so it's only Sumu's responsibility to get himself medical attention. After helping Sumu, Yang Kai returns to his house and begins to cultivate his Kai to recover his health, as Kai has healing properties in it. While he is in the middle of meditating, he breaks through the 8th layer of the body tempering stage and realizes that it's all thanks to the fight that he earlier had with Xiao Feng. A few days pass, and Yang Kai continues his routine of leveling up and doing cleaning duty. Sumu approaches him one day and offers him a bottle of wine as a sign of wanting to be friends. Yang Kai gladly accepts, even though drinking is against the rules of the sect. Sumu then goes to Yang Kai's house to talk with him in private, and firstly he asks him why he saved him back then. Yang Kai explains that since he is Sumu and the other senior, it was his responsibility to help them. Hearing that, Sumu realizes how pure-hearted Yang Kai is, so he apologizes for all of his past crude actions. Sumu then hesitantly mentions the part where Yang Kai touched Humei's chest. But before he can ask him anything about the experience, Yang Kai closes the topic. So instead, Sumu tells Yang Kai to be careful from now on. As Humei is apparently a dangerous woman, Sumu thinks that since Sumei seduced Yang Kai, she will make an attempt again to get a hold of him. To do so, she might also resort to beating Yang Kai up. So Sumu gives Yang Kai a Kai replenishment potion as a backup. Yang Kai knows that the effect of a replenishment potion is not that strong, and moreover, it is of no use to him since he literally can absorb all the Kai he needs from the open environment. Sumu takes his leave for the day and tells Yang Kai that he wants to take him to a nice place. The next day, according to plan, the two disciples go to the Black Wind Woods, and there Sumu tells Yang Kai why he was originally here the day he encountered Xiao Feng. Apparently this place is a crossroads of the 3 sects, the High Heaven Pavilion, the Storm Manor, and the Sanguine Society, which is why Sumu's group bumped into Xiao Feng's group. And the only reason Sumu's group came here was because there is a marketplace where cultivators from all 3 sects come to trade. Yang Kai seems to have no clue about the marketplace here, so he learns everything about it from Sumu and Yun Tian. Since Sumu is a relative to an elder, Yang Kai asks him if he knows about the 11th elder whom Yang Kai met while training beside the ravine. However, Sumu has no clue about what he is talking about and explains that there are only 6 elders in this sect, including the leader, who has apparently reached the peak of the nascent soul stage. Generally, the disciples are at the body tempering stage like Yang Kai, whereas the intermediate cultivators are at the initial foundation stage. From then on, there is only struggle and growth left for the cultivators, and the peak stage is the nascent soul stage, an impossible feat to achieve. Yang Kai doesn't even know if any human could possibly break past the nascent soul stage and believes that that human would be no less than a god. Sumu tells Yang Kai about the other sect leaders, the head of the Sanguine Society and the master of the Storm Manor, Xiao Ruohan. Apparently both are quite weak in comparison to the sect leader of the High Heaven Pavilion, and that makes Sumu feel proud of being in this sect. Yun Tian wonders why the other sects try to mess with this sect if the leader is so much superior to theirs. So Sumu reveals that 10 years prior to now, the sect leader went through a major accident, and because of that he couldn't improve his cultivation any further. The cause of the accident were 2 direct disciples of the leaders who were on par with their strength. The leader didn't treat both of them equally and was strict with the second disciple, whereas he was kind to the first one. This made the latter think that he was being discriminated against, so he became envious of the other disciple and resorted to cultivating a demonic technique in order to become the strongest. Because of that, the second disciple's personality changed radically, and he also became demonic. His strength broke all limits, and the first disciple was no longer a match for him. The sect leader learned about this, and the regret resulted in crippling his own cultivation. The night the sect leader made the decision was the same night when the second disciple soaked the entire High Heaven Pavilion with blood. He killed the first disciple to exact his revenge and then fled in the shadows. From then on, the sect leader stopped showing himself to the public, and that made the people believe that he was mentally broken down completely. However, the leader made an appearance a few years later and began searching for the second disciple himself. After going through thousands of miles, the sect leader finally found the second disciple and imprisoned him in the ravine. Hearing all this, Yang Kai realizes that the 11th elder is actually the sect leader in disguise, and he came there that day to meet with the second disciple, who was locked inside the depths of the ravine. Sumu continues with his story and ends it by saying that because of so many regrets inside the sect leader's heart, he could no longer improve his cultivation and remained at his current stage. After the backstory explanation, Yang Kai and the group head to the marketplace, and there Sumu shows him the house where his older sister stays. Shockingly, Sumu's sister is at the third layer of the pure foundation stage, which is just below the nascent soul stage, and even our protagonist doesn't stand a chance against her. However, what is more shocking to Yang Kai is how weak Sumu is in comparison to his older sister. Anyway, Sumu decides to take Yang Kai to his sister's house, as he believes that she would be a great help for them to move freely within the marketplace. Sumu enters the house alone, first to privately take it with his sister, and in the meantime, Yang Kai notices that the house is surrounded by a very oppressive qi. Sumu's elder sister, Suyan, finally comes out, emanating a chilling aura, and hits Sumu on the head. She then turns to Yang Kai and gives him a very mean look. Sumu realizes that the only reason Suyan hit him is because he is weak and doesn't train properly. So he promises Suyan that he will work hard from now on and won't let her expectations go down. Assuming that Yang Kai is the one who defeated Xiao Feng, Suyan gives him the advice to keep his distance from Sumu, as she believes that he will only become a hindrance to Yang Kai's success. After getting the long lecture, Yang Kai decides to take a look around the marketplace and sees various shops selling items that look mostly fake. He believes that he can find an item that has the Yang Kai attribute in it as his own. Kai is resonating with this place. Hume runs into him while he is in his thoughts and begins to flirt with him once again. Yang Kai begins to walk away to avoid her, but she keeps following him forever. So Yang Kai lets her hang out with him and goes to a shop where he notices a rather expensive stone that has Yang Qi in it. However, it's way out of his budget, so Hume steps in to help and reveals that the shop is very conveniently owned by her family. This shocks Kai as to why Hume is so rich. That's all for this part. Like and subscribe channel for more videos like these and click here to watch the next part.